This is what we do. We dance.
Dance ourselves in.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yes.
do we dare say what just happened? You were literally in the middle of a sentence and you said, "Oh my God, it's time."
It's 11:30. It's time.
Oh, my
Yeah,
camera.
we were chatty.
We were very chatty. Yeah.
We were chatty.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. JZ, Dr. Jonathan Zenz. How are you doing today?
Hi, everybody. I'm Steph St. Amand. Yep.
Also known
I'm
as
doing
Saint
great.
Steph.
How's everybody else doing?
Yeah. And this is the RANT.
This is
Radically Affirmative New Thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's become something of a humorous relationship. I don't want to say it's a joke because it's not a joke. So I'm saying there's a humorous relationship that I have with my community in my love of acronyms.
Oh, yeah. I love acronyms.
All kinds of stuff.
Isn't it like acronyms are like a study tool? If you make up your own acronyms, you can better understand the material.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, I did learn something that initialisms and acronyms are different things, but a lot of people use initialisms and say they're acronyms.
Okay.
Like DNA is not an acronym for a longer word. It's an initialism for that longer word because it's not actually creating a word. RANT is an hold on. Sometimes I just need to start over.
Yeah, to start. Yeah. You know RANT, what? We all do. Yeah.
RANT, the way we use it, is an acronym because RANT is a word and we're making it stand for Radically Affirmative New Thought.
Yes, absolutely. Let's rant. Let's rant.
Yeah.
We love that you're watching and that you want to rant with us. So let us know what it is you want us to talk about today. Have any thoughts or questions, or have you had any big ahas or moments this past week? I love Emerson used to greet his friends, his beloveds, his companions in the journey with what has been made more clear to you since last we spoke. And so if you have one of those moments this week, we would love to hear about all of that good stuff. Let's rant and know a greater truth for ourselves and for one another.
Absolutely. I have something that I can start with.
Awesome.
This is we've entered in the traditional Catholic calendar, liturgical calendar, the season of Lent.
Yes.
Which of course is another one of two of my favorite acronyms. Lent for me meaning both let's eliminate new thought. No, let's eliminate negative thinking.
Let's eliminate new thought.
Let's embrace new thought. See, I got them mixed up in my mind.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Well, today so far, don't you think?
This is going great, and now I've just shared it into 10 groups. So, so here we go. So much good. So we've got people watching. Hey, Anita. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Anita.
Oh, lots of Arizona peeps on a new background. Yes, got a new background for today. Jonathan was feeling a little sprucing it up for spring, right?
Just want something a little different.
Yes. Yeah. And what a novel concept here at New Thought. Radically Affirmative New Thought, you can change your mind about something,
right?
Try something new,
yes.
Expand on our consciousness. Oh, how wonderful! So, if you're watching on Facebook, you know all the things, right? All the things, loves, likes, shares. Click on those things. If you're watching on YouTube, thumbs up, whatever algorithm.
My favorite is the love. That's my favorite button. I probably overuse that button. But I figure, why not saturate the world with love?
Exactly. Here's why I use the love button. It's actually a conscious decision because it takes more effort than just hitting the like button. It takes more effort. I have to hover or click on something and then choose love. So it's a representation that I am choosing love in every moment. And that's why I love everything. All those comments, I just love everything because I'm putting more effort in.
Yeah.
Because I can just scroll, I can just pass everything by. But a little effort to the things that inspire me, a little effort to the things that motivate me, definitely the things that help me grow in love, I'm gonna make a little more effort.
Yeah.
That's just my thing, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I was also looking, I was like making sure that I've got the chat from Unity of Tucson's website up as well, in case anybody's watching there.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I don't see
Awesome.
anybody chatting there yet, though. Yes. Here's the good news is that while, yes, you are choosing love, as far as I'm concerned, in the grand scheme of things, requires no true effort to just be love.
To just be love.
Yeah. I think it's actually more effort. I think there's more effort in my acting in ways that are contrary to the nature of love. It's harder. It takes more energy, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I think for me, returning to love, it is the efforting for me. Because if something happens, like I try to be in love as much as possible. That's my mantra is I am loving presence. And sometimes the world bumps up against me in such a way that I kind of like shake it loose, and it might fall down and I have to pick it back up. So that returning to love sometimes for me takes some effort. And I'm always willing to put in that effort. It's in my own mind, it's in my own consciousness. Because I am loving presence is my state of preference.
Yeah.
So, because I just, some people say things that are just like, oh, and they don't even, it's not intentional. The world is doing the best that they can.
Yeah.
And so I trust that everyone around me is doing the best that they can. Sometimes it takes me a few little tries or attempts to remember they're doing the best that they can.
You just made me think of something. This is maybe going to bristle up for some people. Because as I think about it, I'm like, I'm getting a little bristly around it.
I saw the energy get bristly.
Yeah, I was like, So I'm going to preface this by saying, the current U.S. administration aside,
yeah,
I don't think that the majority are purposefully acting in unkind ways.
No,
I don't think that is our initial. I don't think that is like our impulse. To be purposefully unkind.
No, I think it's love is our natural state of being. And just because my compassion doesn't look like someone else's compassion doesn't make it any less compassionate.
Right. Yeah. So, if you experience an unkindness, actually, I'm not going to speak for anybody else. If I experience an unkindness, I think what my decision is to give that person the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And to respond in kind. I love that. Respond in kind.
Yeah.
With kindness. Right? And I don't mean like they're unkind and my responding in kindness to be unkind. No, I'm saying I'm going to respond in kindness. And that's the theme of the month that we're exploring here at Unity of Tucson, is the theme of kindness. And how do we allow kindness to be a leading value in our interaction with all of life.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think really contemplating or having a better understanding about the difference between being nice and being kind. Because a lot of time we don't say things or don't respond or act in such a way because like we avoid or we don't connect or we don't communicate because we don't want to not be nice.
Right.
We don't want to, say We don't want to have a difficult conversation because that would be unnice. But the kindest thing we could do is have that difficult conversation. I know there's difficult conversations just on my back burner over the last 18 months of my journey.
Mhm.
And I never got to that kind place. It was just, well, I guess we're not going to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But then looking back, is it too late? Is it ever too late to go back and have that kind conversation? I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah, sometimes the kindest thing we can do is have a difficult conversation, or the difference between, I had two teachers, two mentors, Dr. Ken Gordon and Dr. Deborah Gordon. And they were, if I was in a place where I needed the soft touch and the kitten gloves, I would go and talk to Dr. Deb, because I would get loved and supported in that way. But if I needed to hear truth and I was sticking on a point or something, I would go to Dr. Ken, because he would tell me the truth, even if it bumped up against me.
Mm-hmm.
That I was willing to be bumped up against, or I wouldn't have asked the question, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes, like, that's who I am. I need truth. I need someone who's willing to keep my feet to the fire in a mentor and in a coach, right? You see this. You have mentored and coached me in such a way that it's like I need to be poked sometimes for forward movement to happen, or shift to engage. Because the soft gloves I've learned how to do for myself.
Mm-hmm.
The soft gloves, I am, I'm getting really good at knowing my boundaries and loving myself through them, and all of that stuff. That's been an incredible journey for the past 5 years of my life.
Yeah. Remind me when you were first
sometimes-
licensed. When were you first licensed as a minister?
As a minister?
Yeah.
June of 2014.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was 2012.
No, I started ministerial studies in October of 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was your official mentor.
Yes, you were my official minister mentor.
And I remember you and Tammy had started your spiritual community in the Kootenays, right?
Mm-hmm,
and you would come and talk to me about things, and I wouldn't let you get away with anything. I would tell you what I thought to be, and I was a little bit of a spiritual 2x4 on many occasions.
Yeah, I love the spiritual 2x4s that have been in my life. Every one of them.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. I remember you saying things, I'm just going to stop you right here. You've told me this story enough.
Right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing about the stories. If you keep repeating the story, you keep living the story. If you want the story to be done with the story. Be done with the story. Yeah. Anita wrote some time ago. It's been almost 10 minutes since she put this up. Sorry, Anita. I've recently become better at remembering to bring my mind into the present when I start to worry. Yes. So far, there's always been something to be positive, peaceful about in each present moment. Absolutely. Yeah, wonderful. That's a great practice. And knowing Anita, Anita's, I'm still like spiritual 2x4. Right? To be totally honest, I have softened a lot in my approach. Yes. I will still speak truth, but I may not do it quite so forcefully. I don't get any splinters anymore. There's no splinters. Yeah. The hardest conversation is sometimes that kind conversation that we have to have with ourselves. Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yep. Okay, Sherry. So Sherry, who works for me, he is a wee bit softer. Sherry, I guarantee you, a wee bit. Had you seen my approach 11 years ago when Steph was first licensed? Yeah. I am wildly softer.
Yeah. It's only been, it's 11 years, but it feels like forever. It feels like forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. Sometimes
No,
it feels like
it just,
forever. No, it feels like,
yeah, no, it's the normalcy of my life. This is just,
yeah.
it's, yeah.
So,
Hi, Harley. Hello, beloved.
yay.
Yes. So, that was a little bit of a rant. How you all doing?
Yeah.
How's everybody doing out there?
I'm feeling a little bit like cozy because we're overcast and rainy today for the first time. So I think I read that the period from August to March in Tucson, Arizona, this last period from August to March is the driest in the history of record keeping of weather patterns. We basically had almost zero precipitation during that time, and that's unusual. So the fact that we're like getting rain today, oh, it feels like heaven to me. And as I look out my window, as the clouds are dissipating, they had blocked my view of the mountain range out there, but there's snow on the mountains. Beautiful. Really beautiful. Yeah, it feels very cozy here.
Yeah, we're gonna be cozy this weekend because we're gonna be in the pluses. We're getting to pluses this weekend. Yeah, nice. So I'm gonna have a very melty backyard.
Yeah, I will say that's one thing about Toronto that I don't miss was when everything started melting and got sloshy.
Like you guys experienced snow in Toronto, like we do in Winnipeg.
It's not a contest. Why are we making this a contest? I experienced what I experienced. I had my own experience of that experience. And we don't have to have a contest around it.
No competition. Just better understanding what you see as that and I see as that. I'm always, I press people's buttons in that way all the time. You should see this house. Because I'm a curious person. I have no judgment in my mind when I'm asking questions because I want to better understand. But sometimes I ask a question. Yeah. But it's like, why do you want it that way? Or why do you think that? Or, when I ask a why question, it's very like, sometimes it gets pointy and I don't mean it to be pointy. I just want, like, here's an example. My wife will say, this grape is sweet. And I'll be like, I'm going to eat this grape so that I can know what my wife's level of sweet is to me. So that I'm like, because it's not about competition. It's about like knowing differences or similarities. Like, oh, this is delicious. What do you think delicious tastes like? I should taste that. So that I know what delicious tastes like to you. So that it's just weird. I know I'm a very weird person and I'm totally okay with that.
We're all weird. And we should all be weird because we're all
absolutely unique. We should all be weird. Yes. I think we all are weird and we believe that about ourselves when we're all just normal and unique.
But what is normal? See, I don't resonate with the word normal.
Yeah.
Because normal, oftentimes we equate the idea of normal with just what is common. And I would like to express my life in uncommon ways.
Yeah. Normal is a setting on the laundry machine. That's the go-to.
The laundry machine. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But now we've got super loads. So I don't even know if there's a normal cycle on the laundry machine anymore.
I don't know. Do you call them laundry machines in Canada?
Washing machine.
Because I would just call it a washer.
Yeah. So,
Anita, when we lived in Minnesota, we used to say there are 3 seasons there: winter, mud, and construction mosquitoes. Yes.
Yeah. That's in Winnipeg. There's 2 seasons: winter and construction.
Yeah. And Sherry affirms, oh, I love that level of seeking to understand. I actually do love that idea to to really be in alignment and listen. Here's the thing, listening to your partner when they express something and being really clear, like, oh, I seek to understand.
Yeah, I seek to understand you.
To understand. Yeah.
I want to know the beloved.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know the beloved, and the beloved is in you. So, like, what an amazing thought. Did that just pop in, or did you come to it? Like, how is that? You made that recipe yourself? Like, you just invented a dish? How did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
There's our brains, our minds. I don't know anything about the brain, but the mind is magnificent. And I think each and every one of us are the most interesting thing that we could possibly ever discover. So first I discover myself, I learn my preferences, and then I learn more about the beloved.
Yeah.
I'm just finding all the pieces of me all over the place.
Do you know what makes life interesting?
So many things.
What makes life interesting is our seeking out things with interest. Like, we're the ones who make it interesting by seeking it out. We can let it all go by and it will be not that interesting. But if we actually seek out with interest, that's what makes things interesting. I don't know. I'm coming up with these like ideas today, which I don't know. My energy today, there's nothing wrong with my energy today. But I'm just commenting on the energy because I do feel it's like the cozy thing. I feel like, I just feel like a little bit wrapped up in a blanket, and I feel more subdued. I guess that's what it is. I feel more subdued today.
Yeah. I love that cozy feeling, though. There's nothing better than like you have like a heat snap or something. You would understand that better than I, for sure.
Yeah.
But like August is hot here. It's hot. And then you get a rainy day. It's like, oh, like just the relief. I can stay in, I can read, I can listen to the sound of the rain. I can, I love having on a summer day, the windows open when it's raining, because like the freshness of the air just it settles all the dust and it cleans the air, and being present for the life that is living itself. This sounds like my talk for Sunday.
Yeah.
No. Like it's just being present for the life that is in front of you, that is unfolding. It's beauty, it's grace, it's wonderful.
And what could be, in many ways, for many people, what could be more radical than that? Being present for the life that is the life you're living, or the life in front of you.
Yeah.
That's radical for some people.
But what? You know what's radical for some people? Learning how to take a day off. Learning how to like stop doing something 7 days a week, 365.
I'm feeling very personally attacked right now.
Look at you.
No, I laugh because there are people who. So first of all, I come to my office at Unity of Tucson on Fridays to do the rant, right?
Yeah.
And see, Anita, she's commenting on.
I'm only commenting on myself. It took me a long time to learn how to take a day off.
So, but there are many people who point out to me that I am in this office far too much. I'm like, according to whom? That's the first thing. According to whom? According to what we consider to be normal. I'm either going to be doing what I do here, or I'll be doing whatever I do outside of here. And, why do I have to differentiate between, physical location in terms of what is bringing me and allowing me to experience joy in the world? Like, I love what I do. And so why wouldn't I want to be here?
We should all be so blessed to be doing what we love.
Yeah. Anyway.
And that's, that's other people's stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to worry about commenting on other people's stuff.
Right, exactly. Like we get to live our life. I mean, because we were having a conversation beforehand, and there's people in my life that are pointing out, here's what you should be doing. And as soon as you put the word should in my ear, that's automatic resistance, because my inner child goes, you're not the boss of me.
Yeah.
It's subconscious until it's not. But if you should on me, I'm not going to do it on purpose. I'm not going to do it now for sure, because someone else has an expectation on me that I have not set on myself. Right. So yeah, that's little Steffi secrets right there. If you say should to me, I'm already heels in.
I know how to manipulate you now. Steph, you should move to Tucson, Arizona.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Wait a second. Where's that little...
First off, I'm only 50% of the decision-making expression of this team I have a relationship with. So, and she is very adamant of, there's no way she could handle the heat down there, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I love her enough to, cherish her opinion.
But
I'll visit.
We live the extremes. You live in the extreme cold, and we live in the extreme heat. And they're extreme. But I take the extreme heat. I prefer the extreme heat because at least I can go be in the pool.
Yeah. I'll take the cold here in Canada. You only got so many choices. So if you don't want the extreme cold, you're probably living in southern BC. And southern BC is cloudy 300 days. There's a lot of cloud going on in BC. And that doesn't work for me. I the sunshine and the blue sky and so I sacrifice my warmth sometimes to be outside, because I'm warm inside, especially with radiator heat and hoodies galore, so that I can have this beautiful sunshine a lot of the year. Yeah.
So,
are we even ranting today?
I feel like we're not even ranting today. What's on people's minds? I think we're going to go back to just put that out there again. What's on your mind? What's resonating with you? Actually, I'll tell you, this book, Discover Your Divinity, that we're studying in, we are studying in my prayer fundamentals class that I'm teaching with Reverend Ronnie Tretzvin from the Center for Spiritual Living, Tucson. I love this experience of co-facilitating a class.
Oh, I love co-teaching.
So great. Loving this book though, but the approach that they have put forth as the approach to the steps of prayer. In New Thought, we teach steps to prayer. We've made a formula, right? Which I do and don't agree with. And I always say, well, the formula is a technique that you can develop. And once you have developed the technique, embody the technique and allow the technique to be, allow yourself to live through the technique, but don't focus on the technique. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like you learn in theater, you learn your lines and then you don't use the book.
Right.
Right. You learn the steps, but then you don't use them.
Right.
It's easy. Yeah.
And the technique is an encouragement to root ourselves in an awareness of the presence, which is the basis of all prayer in the way that we teach it in New Thought, that the fundamental core of all prayer is an awareness of the one presence, the one power, the one source of all that is, not separate from us. But when we root ourselves in that oneness principle, then whatever we express will come into expression, because we have fundamentally shifted our minds. But I love the way that Linda Martello-Whitsett and Deanna Weir-Morency have addressed the steps that we teach, because in Unity, I'm just going to rattle off the steps. Don't worry about what they are. relaxation, concentration, meditation, realization, appreciation. Those are the steps in unity. And in the religious science side of things, Steph, what are they? They are
recognition, unification, realization, gratitude, and release.
Yes. And I always say that step 2, we need to redefine, not as unification, but as identification.
Identification. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
That is,
I like
will go
that.
to bat for the rest of my life to say we need to stop calling it unification, start calling it identification.
Yeah, because we're not separate from it. We are not. What are we unifying with if we aren't separate from?
I am unifying with this cup, but this cup is separate from me. I'm not identifying as the cup. I can identify myself as the infinite power and presence.
I'm a cup.
I am a cup. Well, I am a cup, and whatever I am filled with.
Yeah.
Okay. But I love the way that they have formulated these steps into 5 steps that really, in some ways, more align with the unity steps. I'm going to be clear.
For sure.
But
they're unity authors. Yeah.
No, one of them is a unity author.
Oh.
The other one's a CSL author.
Oh, really? Deanna is the CSLer. Huh?
Yeah. So I have added a 6th step to what they have put in.
Yeah.
But what I love about the way that they've structured this is they are taking it and saying, it is important to them that we are utilizing active language, right? And so there's a call in each step. I open. I recognize. I integrate. I realize. I appreciate. Those are their 5 steps. And I'm going to go and talk to Linda, and I'm going to say, Linda, I think you should add a 6th step, and that would be I allow.
I allow.
Which is, in religious science, that's the release step, right? I allow. I step out of the way, and I trust and know, and affirm it is so.
Yeah.
And so it is.
And so it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you can see my dirty desk. And shift over here. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I get very passionate about prayer. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah. And I too, I don't necessarily, in the religious science side, agree with gratitude as an official step, right?
No,
I don't. Because gratitude is a feeling, and if we are bringing ourselves to that sense of identifying as that divine power and presence, so if I feel gratitude, I always say that God knows I'm grateful. God knows I'm grateful. Mm-hmm. So I like their take on appreciation. Versus gratitude, being grateful for something, but appreciation has a different tone to it.
Right.
And I appreciate what I appreciate about my own understanding. That level of it's a deeper thing than just like, oh, I'm wrapping up my prayer, so I've got a grateful heart, and I'm just gonna release.
Well, yeah. And I think part of it is an acknowledgement. For me, when I teach the gratitude step, I always say it is an acknowledgement of the feeling at the core of this prayer. It is not intended to be a verb. And so I tell people, step away from the notion that you need to say thank you in the gratitude step. Because first of all, who are you thanking?
Who are you thanking?
You've now just put it outside the self.
Yeah.
And so rather than thank you as an action, a realization of the gratitude or the appreciation in your heart. And I also like the notion of appreciation because for sure in Linda Martellowitz's first book, she talks about the notion of appreciation. She said something along the lines of, I like the idea of appreciation because like in the financial world, anything that is appreciating is growing.
Yes.
And so why not live in the state of mind of appreciation, knowing that as you appreciate what it is you are praying for and with and as is growing in your experience. Yeah. I love that notion.
Yeah. And How to Pray, she says, and this is where I got it from, I'm sure, what you appreciate appreciates.
Absolutely.
And so, what it's like making those financial investments. You're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
By taking the time out of your day to pray, to do affirmative prayer, to know these steps in your life and to reflect on those things, that's you investing in your relationship with the beloved, that powerful presence that is back of your life. So all people, I don't have time to pray. Honey, you don't have time not to pray, right? Like really, just take 3 seconds to just connect. Take 3 breaths. You're praying.
Yeah.
Just be in that. Be in the awareness. And you're praying. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, every thought, every belief, every feeling, the interaction of thoughts, beliefs, and feelings are creating the constructs of our lives. I say this all the time. I know that there are people who are in that class who are like, oh my gosh, he just said it again. I'm like, yes. And I'm going to keep saying it because that is fundamental. Thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, the way they interact and work within ourselves are what is creating the life that we are living. And so if we understand that, and we allow ourselves to step into the practice, a consistent practice of awareness of our thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, and drawing to the level of awareness, that which is below the level of awareness, but still active as thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, then we are actually taking charge of our lives, and we can live life to the fullest from that point of view. Because basically, we are praying 100% of the time, whether that prayer is formal or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
We teach a formal state. We teach a formalized approach to prayer, but we are praying 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Because all of it is working to create our lives.
Yeah. It's the law operating.
Yeah.
It's the law operating.
Yeah.
Whether spoken or in mind, it's the law is listening to you always.
Always.
Yeah. So
and it is responding.
So be intentional and directive and see what happens.
And so it is. And the law is always responding in kind to whatever is impressed upon it.
Yeah.
That law of mind action says yes, 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 all the time. Here you go.
Yes.
You want more of that? Great. You're thinking it. You're believing it. Here's more of it.
Yeah. Yeah. The universe will provide you the evidence you're looking for. So if you're looking for, I'm not enough, you're going to find it. If you're seeking or looking for a positive way or a positive community, and all of a sudden, you're going to just be sitting somewhere, and all of a sudden a notification will come up. Oh, I've never seen this before. And it will be an invitation to a community. The universe is always looking for you. The universe is always looking.
Yeah.
Through you, through the activity and expression.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
Being in the energy vibration of love, all I see is appreciation for this life experience that I'm having now. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel good.
Yeah, it's been a good day.
It is.
Good day so far.
Yeah. Yep.
How's everybody else doing? How's everybody else doing?
Yeah. How are you doing? What is on your mind? Oh, you know what? I just as a reminder and a heads up, mark your calendars if you're in Tucson, Arizona.
Or a reasonable distance away.
Or a reasonable distance away that allows you to drive in. On April 11th, Friday, April 11th, the RANT is going to be offered in person because St. Steph is going to be here in Tucson, and we are going to we're going to go onto the stage in the sanctuary here at Unity of Tucson. I go back there, like anybody knows that the stage is actually kind of that direction from where I'm sitting. We're going to be on the platform. We're going to engage in the RANT live and in person. And we would love for you to join us to be in the audience in person.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I just love saying we're going to have a live studio audience.
Yes.
We have a live studio audience.
Yes.
That's going to be
I
awesome.
also want to give you all the fair warning that this is the last week for right now that the
Mhm.
rant in Arizona starts at 10:30 because everybody else goes on daylight savings time this weekend. And so starting next week, and this is also good, starting next week, if you're in Arizona, the rant will be at 9:30 in the morning, not
Yes.
at 10:30. So mark your calendars, set your alarms, set your reminders, however you choose to remember.
Mhm. Mhm.
We'll start at 9:30 next week if you're in Arizona. So
Yeah.
just some information. Yes.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Yes, I feel good. Yes.
Dee-nee-nee-nee-nee-nee-nee.
Hmm.
I knew that I would. Dee-nee-nee-nee-nee-nee.
Yes.
So good. So good.
So I have a question for you.
Wonderful.
Without going into like the elevator pitch that we probably all as ministers have at the tip of our tongue, what is another way that you could explain the answer to this question?
Oh gosh.
What is New Thought?
Oh, well, I don't know anything new about New Thought.
Because we teach the New Thought spiritual philosophy. That's what we are engaged with, right?
Well, New Thought is an interpretation of universal principles and laws that help us direct our life through the modernization of ancient wisdom.
I'm like, I appreciate that. Sounds like the elevator pitch.
It isn't. It's totally, yeah. Sounds like an elevator pitch.
And maybe that's the best way to, describe it. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
Yeah. I always say modern interpretation of ancient wisdom because there is no new thought. There's new ways of thinking about old thoughts.
You know what? That's an important distinction. It's called New Thought because we are always in the process of thinking in a new way.
Mm-hmm.
And that new way of thinking is tied in and aligned with that ancient wisdom that is a part of who we all are.
Yes.
Yeah. So, because that, we all joke about it. There's nothing new in New Thought. There just isn't. I mean, what is new about love and law? There's nothing new about love and law.
No,
the entire
it's been unconditional since its creation, and it was never created. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have to contemplate and think deeply about these things, because what love is never created. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It just is. So that means I'm love? What? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what makes New Thought my thing. Mm-hmm. Like I'm in the New Thought movement because there's so much wisdom in everything. This is just a focalized way of taking all of that which vibrates good with me into my life and letting everything else go. All the stuff that does not serve a higher expression of who I am as the radiant I am, and therefore humanity. I just let it all go, and I do my best right here, thinking deep thoughts. Mm-hmm. And what brings me joy is finding other people who want to contemplate and have deep thoughts and conversations about the most ridiculous things. Like, where was love born?
Where was love born?
Was it? Was it ever born? How do we?
Well, you just said that's the question that you like to contemplate. Where was love born? So where was love born?
Deep, meaningful conversation. Sometimes they don't have answers, but if it gets me thinking, I'm exercising. I'm moving and not stagnant. Because I know if I stay stagnant in thought or in activity, I get bored, and a bored Steph creates drama and chaos that it takes forever to clean up. So I just don't make the mess as much as possible by contemplating and thinking thoughts before I speak or act. It's amazing.
I think this is Sherry's approach to defining New Thought, a blending of all spiritual beliefs and delving into how to experience life. I think you intended to say life in a deeper, more joyful life experience based on love. I love that.
Love that. Love that.
That's a wonderful definition.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that from here on out when someone asks me.
Yeah.
Great.
And I appreciate that you talk about the blending of spiritual beliefs, because, this is what I believe. I believe, and we celebrate this on Sundays here at Unity of Tucson through the Flames of Faith ceremony that we've adopted, where we light a candle for major faith traditions in this world, acknowledge that not all of them have been uttered, like the names of them have not all been uttered, but at the core of all of them is one thing, and that is the golden thread of love, is how I usually phrase it, that there is spiritual truth in all spiritual traditions. And, that's the core that I'm always looking for. I'm looking for the seed. Sometimes because let's fully acknowledge, sometimes that seed is so deeply buried that what is being expressed in form, what has grown out of that, may have actually deviated in some way a little bit from that core. And I don't say this to be disparaging of some traditions, just to say there's an awareness there that if it seems not in alignment with love in the expression of that spiritual practice, I want to go back to the core of what was that seed. What was the seed that brought this spiritual that brought this spiritual path into being? Because I think at the core of all of it, what we find is that seed is the seed of infinite love. Full stop.
Full stop. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Well, and that's what another thing about that blending, it for me is what works. That's why I stick around in New Thought, because I'm label adversive. Right. And so I have absolutely on my desk right now, I have the Science of Mind and the Tao Te Ching. Like there's wisdom is wisdom and truth is truth. And when your ears hear it and your body knows truth when it hears it, trust that tuning fork that is within you to know truth.
Yeah. I had an experience recently that challenged that for me, because I was working on a document with a group that and I'm being a little obtuse about it purposefully about what this group was, but I was working with a group that is an organized group, a legally organized group that is a nonprofit organization. They are a group that is rooted in New Thought principle, and they have traditionally had a very specific approach to the teaching of an expression of New Thought. And there's an evolution that is happening on the fringes of this group. And that evolution, I think, is something that we can look at and say, hey, how is this evolving into greater expressions of itself? But basically with this group, we were rewriting some of the governing documents for this group, which has been around for more than half a century, this group. And I'm part of this group. And we were rewriting some of the governing documents, and there was such a resistance to let go of some of the old language that perhaps there's nothing wrong with an approach that has been, but the language for me, I said, it feels too limiting to me. Like I'm limiting myself by past paradigms. And if I limit myself by past paradigms, perhaps I am not engaged in spiritual evolution, which is what I am always interested in. I'm personally interested in spiritual evolution. How can I take what I know now and evolve into the next great expression of it and invite, a journey of that great spiritual evolution for everyone in my sphere. I think I think a lot about the way I approach ministry here at Unity of Tucson. And, I'm very different from a lot of ministers. I'm certainly very different from the previous ministers. And I honor the tradition and want to be in evolution. That's what I always say. I honor the tradition, but want to be in evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honor the shoulders we stand upon.
Yes.
And because of we're standing on their shoulders, we can see further
Yes.
than they ever could. So, you know, like my friend JC would say, even greater things you will do. And that's just good advice from a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A parent who's like this, they want children to have better than they had, right? I want my family to have a greater expression than has been previously known. And I know that they do.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they do. I mean, my parents are so far beyond their parents. I mean, my mom is like a seeker, a poet, a mystic. Like she's just this wonderful expression, and I am a part of that, and so more because she allowed that place for me. And so that's the same thing. We are. Ernest Holmes would say, stop reading my book. There's more out there.
It's so true. He did famously say, if you're still reading this, I mean, I think he said, if you're still reading this book 60 years later, you didn't understand the point of the book.
Yeah. Well, I remember I heard a story, someone retell a story about him saying, like, everything I've ever done, throw in the wastebasket once I'm gone, because something new will reveal itself. And then we just can't let go of the book. Oh my God, I can't.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite approaches to how I do business is to remember that the statement, because we've always done it that way, is not a way to make decisions. It's a way to avoid making decisions.
Oh yeah. If someone ever says that to me in a group, I'm helping, I'm mentoring or something. If someone said that to me, I'm like, oh, that means change is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're saying is we want transformation and change, but you're not willing to transform or change anything. What are you expecting?
One of my favorite, there's a cartoon that goes around sometimes in ministerial circles, and it's one of those little, like, single frame. It's one of those little single frame drawings, and it's a ministerial candidate sitting in front of the selection committee, and the caption underneath is as though the selection committee is saying this. It says, "We are looking for someone who is evolutionary and forward thinking as long as they don't change anything."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. We want change. What do we want? Change. When do we want it? Now.
Yeah.
And then crickets.
Mm-hmm.
Crickets. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So go make some noise.
I think that's the radically affirmative new thought today. Go make some noise.
Go make some noise.
Be a change maker in this world in a radically new way, some way that you have never experienced change before.
And all you have to do to be that is love. Be love. It's a radical concept that has been taught for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
Love. That's it.
Love. And so it is.
And respond in kindness.
Yes, respond.
That's my thought today.
In kindness.
That's the Jonathan Zenz quote I wrote down. Respond in kindness.
Kindness. Yes. We have shirts that we sell here. It says human, kind, be both.
Be both. Be both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's not hard. For me, it is harder to be unkind.
It is.
And to be kind. It's hard. It's hard work. It's like icky. Things stick to me. I got to shake them off then.
Yeah.
It's just easier for me to be kind and then not have to do work later.
Absolutely.
Just be kind now. Less work for you later.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And if you want to test that theory out, go for it. Go for it. I'm watching my wife be a scientist these days. Like, just what would happen if?
Yeah.
I can't wait till you answer that. What happens if? Like, check it out.
That's one of the things that I used to always say when I was still on the religious science side of the New Thought movement predominantly. And I'm on all sides now.
I'm a circle.
But people used to say, well, it's not really a science. And I would say, No, it's not really a science in how we understand the scientific method, the scientific approach to understanding life. I said, but here's how it is a science for me. It is an encouragement for us to experiment.
Yeah.
Consider your entire life your laboratory and experiment.
Experiment.
And see how it unfolds. Be willing to experiment in bold and different, new, exciting ways. That's how it's a science. And prove to yourself what you need to prove to yourself to live life fully.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it a science?
It's like life. Yeah. There's an infinite playground.
Yeah.
Go press all the buttons. Go click all the levers. Go try out all the machines. Go play.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, to learn our preferences to the best of our abilities. That's it.
Life is a laboratory meant to be experimented with.
Mm-hmm. Life is a lab. You can always tell it when I'm writing this stuff down.
I know, I'm like, she's writing that down. Yes. Well, we're kind of at the end.
We did it. We ranted.
Yeah, like I love ranting. I love these green hearts. Thank you.
Those are great. I love green hearts. Those are nice. Like emerald jewels of the heart.
Yes, like the Emerald City. Hey, maybe I'll watch Wicked again today. That might be on my docket.
I gotta buy it so that I can watch it.
I love watching Wicked. So as we prepare to sign off, once again, just remember, if you're in Arizona, the rant will be an hour earlier next week.
Yes.
I'm trying to remind people. And Steph will be here in April. We will be doing the rant in person on April 11th. Until that time, we're still going to be online. We're still going to be here on Fridays. We're still going to be able to see you. And
we're reachable and approachable.
Absolutely. If you have any ideas that you want us to rant about, there are our emails right there on the screen. Yes, right there. There it is. There's my email, revjonathan@unityoftucson.com, steph@oneloveawakening.com, and send us emails. Let us know what you want us to rant about.
Yeah.
Because we're happy to talk about what you want to talk about. That's it. Anything else, Steph?
You know what is the most radical thing you guys could do today? Email us, because everybody else isn't. You do something different today.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I love every one of you, whether you're watching right here, right now, or on the replay. There is no separation. The moment you are having is right here, right now. And this is the moment. I love you.
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful to spend this time with you.
Me too.
Yes.
All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.